Get it. Get it. You can do it. Get it. Get it, girl. Get it. Get it. Get it. Poor little dog. She likes the snow, though. She's having as much fun as I am. Morning, folks. Today, me and Lily escaped up the mountain to try a little bit of predator calling. I've been here for probably an hour or so, and nothing showed up. I'll have this on probably tomorrow's video. But something's been kind of bothering me lately, and I don't know what to think of it, but been a lot of stuff in the news lately that is kind of worrying me. I don't know if you've heard about it. If you're watching the HILLBILLY'S channel, you probably have. He's been talking about it lately, and we've been talking back and forth over the phone, and that train derailment in Ohio, they say that is probably the worst chemical spill ever to happen in the United States. But we haven't heard much of anything about it. And I'm really kind of wondering why that is. We keep hearing about Chinese balloons and UFOs and forever chemicals, things like that. But not much about this train disaster. And that's what it is. It's a disaster. But I'll put a picture in here that Hillbilly sent me about, well, it's a big, huge plume of smoke right after this thing happened. Somebody took a picture. And I guess yesterday, from what I heard, might have been the day before, there was a semi-truck that overturned down in Arizona, also carrying a bunch of chemicals. You don't hear nothing about that. Which kind of brings me to this. A while back, I mentioned it, and I never got back to it. But I had this put on my truck windshield, and what this is, I did a video about that the fish having chemicals in it, toxic so-called forever chemicals, and it sounded really terrible. It sounded like we weren't safe to eat any of the fish in the United States again. They were too high in these forever chemicals that cause cancer and cause all sorts of other problems. Well, I got to looking into it, and this paper kind of confirms it too. They're talking about 48 parts per trillion. That's trillion with a T. Worldwide human population, they say, is about 8 billion people with a B. Billion. So it would take another 3 billion to make up a trillion. Of all the people in the United States, I mean 8 billion, and this is a pretty darn crowded world. So let's say for a minute that there was a trillion people in the United States. Only 48 of them would have these forever chemicals. That's a pretty small amount, in my opinion. They're saying that 0.02 parts per trillion is acceptable in fish to not be unhealthy for people. How do they even measure something that small? 0.02 trillion. I mean, 100, that's 2 pennies out of a dollar. 100 cents. And that ain't very much. So, I don't know. It really bothers me that all this stuff is trying to scare us. You know, I mean, personally, I'm not that worried about it, but you hear about forever chemicals in fish and being unsafe to eat, and then I read that it's also in whales, then I've read it's also in deer and elk, and if it's in all those things, you can bet it's in us too. We're not immune from any of this. We still drink water and eat the same things that they eat. And you hear about mercury poisoning in fish, and I read that 3 buffalo in three grizzly bears in Montana have tested positive for bird flu. And I guess they put down something like 50,000 mink in some mink farm over in Europe because they had bird flu. They're saying that if this bird flu has jumped to mammals, it can also jump to people. And I guess some people actually have got it, but it's not very widespread. But they're saying that, you know, we're all in danger and blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, this train wreck again. What's going on there? I guess they're saying that chickens are dying. There's thousands of fish that they've found dead in the streams around this area. I guess a bunch of fox have died. Somebody told me that was a fox farm. I haven't heard that for sure. But a bunch of fox, chickens, fish, birds, all these things are dying from all this nasty stuff that was being carried on this train. And I guess people are reporting headaches, and they're reporting sore throats, burning eyes, all that good stuff. And yet they're telling people that it's safe to stay there. They shouldn't need to worry about leaving. So you got 48 parts per trillion in a fish, and it makes it unsafe to eat. How come, if it's bad enough that it's hurting your lungs and burning your eyes, how come that's safe to stay there and they're not worried about it? I don't know, folks. There's something going on, and it's not really looking that great. I don't know what to think, and I don't know that anybody really does, but one thing that really makes me mad is it is a beautiful blue sky day. Oh, that's something else too. There's airplane tracks. So are these airplanes, are they dumping chemicals on us that are going to give us all cancer and kill us all and all that? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But what really makes me mad is it is a beautiful blue sky day. I'm in the mountains. I'm up here looking for wolves. I'm enjoying my day. And yet I'm thinking about this crap. That's down there. That's down in the valley. That's not even down in the valley. That is probably 3,000 miles from here. And yet it's got me where I'm not enjoying my day as much as I should be. And that pisses me off, to be quite honest. What do you do about it? There ain't a dang thing we can do about it. Some of the best advice I've ever got is to control what you can control. And if it's out of your control, don't worry about it, because you can't do anything about it anyway. So because of these forever chemicals and toxic waste in our fish, I'm never going to be able to sit down on a bank of a mountain lake or a creek someplace and fry up a fish without thinking about that. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my food as much as I should, and that really makes me mad. There's no reason for that. But how do you not think about it after you find out that this stuff's there and it could potentially kill you? I don't think right away. It sounds like you'd end up dying of cancer or some awful thing. But still, it's not a pleasant thing to think about. And that really makes me mad. You know, when the Exxon Valdez oil tanker sprung a leak and had that big old oil spill, that's all you heard about for months after that. In fact, we're still hearing about that every now and then. That comes up. And yet, this train derailment, nothing. Hardly. I mean, very little. So, why is that? Is it really not as big a deal as what they're saying? From that black smoke, I mean, holy smokes, that black smoke. Wait till you see this picture. And there's others. I mean, it's not just the one picture. It is a major disaster. And yet, careful, Lily, you're going to knock over my stuff here. It's a major disaster, and yet there's very little on the news about it. I don't understand why. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to let this stuff ruin my day. I'm up here enjoying life, and I think we all should too. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I hope you're having a great day. You're out enjoying the sunshine. It's not very warm today. I think it's only probably about 20 degrees. This morning it was 0. But it's a pretty day. I'm going to get back to hunting. See you guys tomorrow. Chemtrails and poison fish. And a beautiful world we live on. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to let it spoil it for me.